Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Communities Live here at Sheffield Live 93.2 FM. Chris and Ellie here, and we have singer-songwriter Ames. Good afternoon.
How you doing, Chris? Thank you for having me.
I'm very well, thank you. It's a bit windy and rainy here in Sheffield, but how is it on your part?
Well, it's quite lovely, and we're by the beach doing our press day, so we had to be in a relaxing environment. I'm not trying to rub it in, but it's around 32 degrees and the sun is shining. Yeah.
I'd love to swap places with you, mate. I'll tell you that. And so I want to talk to you a bit about you first, Ames. So give us a bit of background. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Ames is an artist that started his journey with the Soul Solid crew through pirate radio as a teenager. The first name was DJ Sniper, then it was AM Sniper, and the finished article in a nutshell is Ames, who's now introducing a genre called Global Street with my new album, Peak Season. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Quick summer.
And I want to ask you, I mean, who are your main influences? And also, if it was anybody that you could work with in the near future, who would it be and why?
Hmm. I would say, in terms of influences, of course, the past and present of hip hop has always been important to me because that's one of the sounds I grew up with. So 100% Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Nas, Eminem. Um, Definitely artists that I respect, admire, and would love to work with. Um, and then obviously some of the legends that I've been influenced by are no longer here. So Bob Marley is one of the great influences in my career. I see what Bob Marley does in Jamaica as something very similar to what I did on the island of Cyprus, my homeland. So definitely, I can't work with Bob Marley, but the next best thing is to work with his son, who's on our current new album. So with Julia Marley, we've got Light and Love. So yeah, I'm pretty much very humbled and grateful with everyone I'm working with at the moment, and I'm excited to share the word of the project and share the sound of Ames and speak to as many people I can as possible, like you, Chris, on Sheffield Live, supporting us. Like everything matters, and we're taking it back to the old school with our promo, making sure that we shed some light and attention to everyone that supports. And you're so important when you press play, and pressing play is the biggest gift that we can have as artists. And whether it's the Rolling Stone magazine or Billboard or BBC or you on Sheffield Live, everyone is just as equally important and needed in a journey of an artist, in a journey of a musician, in a journey of the support that we can get. So I wanted to make sure that we could reach out to as many people as possible, make sure we link up correctly. You're in tune and in sync with our journey, and we just keep that momentum growing because that's what
Definitely.
music is all about, and that's what it should be all about, regardless of algorithms and data, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Ames. I totally agree on that. And I want to ask you, I mean, what was the first song that you actually listened to that captured your imagination and you thought to yourself, gosh, I really would want to become a singer-songwriter?
Mm. There's been a few. There's been a few tracks that always gave me that feeling. I never I never had a moment that you like the one you just described where I said, "Oh,
Yeah, sure.
I want to be music." I grew up in music and I am music. So I've never had a moment in my life where that wasn't the case. It was never about accolades. I've never had a proper bring in or big record deal, or it's always been us building and becoming self-sufficient by just having love for the sound. But
Mm.
some of my early influences were definitely the Dynasty album by Jay-Z. I think the way that whole album opened up left a mark in my musical journey. Um, Bob Marley, 100%, we already mentioned. I think, his iconic tracks have always resonated with me.
Mhm.
Um, I think he wrote, I think Kaya was a song that's not necessarily one of the popular ones that got me seeing music from a different angle. And because of Bob Marley, because of him being so cool, looking at him as a source of inspiration always allowed me to feel a bit comfortable with being a gentleman in my sound and not having to be, promoting violence
Sure.
and crime to feel cool. Like I feel cool by being positive and sending a positive message out and being a gentleman. And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
None at all, mate, and thank you for sharing that with me. And I want to say also, I mean, for anybody that wants to like do this, do music, like either a singer, songwriter, or producer, what advice would you give to our listeners? And also, how difficult is it?
Um, I think everything that you choose to do in life is difficult. I don't think like coming on there to say, yeah, being a musician is difficult. I think it's difficult being on the front line in as a soldier. Although I'm not a politician, I don't want to talk about it, but there's a lot of wars going on, and
Sure.
I think what we do by being positive is one thing, but people fighting wars, that's difficult, you
Yeah.
know? People waking up or to go to work at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., that's difficult. I think when you find something you love, be it music or be it sport or be it business, whatever you want to do, if you love it, it'll become less difficult because there's nothing that you choose to do that is easy.
Yeah.
So I feel that is the thing is if you're going to get into music because you saw someone's end result and you got, oh yeah, I'll do that because that's going to make me money,
Yeah.
then yeah, don't get into music. And the difference with this business, I would say, is you don't do music, then don't worry about anything and just become what you have to become, you know?
Sure.
Um, but, challenges exist in every career path. Um, and I'm sure you're very well aware of that. And,
Yeah.
you know, everyone strives to give their best every day at what they do and what they love. And I think my word of advice would be just love it. If you love it, you'll be good.
And I want to ask you as well. I mean, we touched a bit about this earlier on. We were talking about COVID, and I mean, as a performer yourself, I mean, it was tough times for everybody, but a lot of artists was using like digital platforms. I mean, was that an angle that you were interested in taking? I mean, did it make making music any easier, or would you say it's still as hard as it is now?
I think it's harder now than what it was before COVID. I think it's harder now because you have people that are confused as to what works and what doesn't.
Sure.
So I feel like during COVID, a lot of things that were working are not necessarily working anymore. I feel a lot of people that came in and thought this is what the business is during COVID now are trying to figure out what to do where the business is back to how it was before COVID with a touch of data and algorithms from TikTok. I feel COVID was such a great experience outside of all the negatives that came out of it. It
Yeah.
was a great experience that I got away from a lot of things. I was isolated. I got to spend time with my daughter, with my family. I got to look into my career path and my music. I could take a break without feeling that I'm slacking. And I think I'm going to do that regardless of COVID. It took me 3 years to finish my new album, and I'm absolutely comfortable with that. Because if Michelangelo was painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, how artists are utilizing their talent today, the Sistine Chapel wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So putting time and effort into your craft if you can, because some artists they're forced to release all the time because that's how they make their living. Other people have the ability through other platforms that created. So it's neither here or there. I feel like COVID was a lesson, in many ways for many people. Um, but again, there was a lot of deeper meanings behind the COVID shambles, and I'm not a politician or a person that goes into these things or wants to discuss them. All I'm saying is I focus on the positives from it.
Yeah. I agree, Ames. I mean, we should definitely focus on the positive there, and thank you for sharing that with me. And I want to say we're going to talk about your album now. So we've got a single from your album. It's called "My Best," and it's just been released on last Friday. Is that right?
The album came out on Friday. My Best is one of the songs that I feel everyone's perceiving as a single, but um, I don't feel we haven't released it as a single. So the singles were Light and Love with Julia Marley and Tejas featuring Hypertone, and Need Somebody with Ardy. Those were the two singles. And then the album came out on Friday, which is called Peak Season. And two of the songs that are really, doing well from the album is Wait What and My Best. But I understand why everyone's feeling that, oh, that's an album single. It's just because a lot of people are taken to those two specific tracks.
Sure.
But introducing a new genre like Global Street would be very, very difficult with just singles. That's the reason why we decided to put the whole album out. And we felt very, very, I would say, proud that we put this body of work together to the point where we just released a short film which is a 6 minute visual that has 9 chapters, which is basically a visual for every song, because we couldn't pick which one's going to be the single.
Yeah.
So My Best seems like the one that's taking all the attention now, alongside Wait What, and there'll probably be a video to one of those two songs very soon as well. Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about behind the scenes of the album. I mean, it's 9 songs long. I mean, was that always the case of what this album was going to be, or was there like any material that you never got to use, but you're going to save it for possibly another album in the near future?
Well, I'm not sure if there's going to be material that didn't get used this for another album, unless one day we decide to put out an unreleased project. Like this is all the unreleased stuff that we never put out. But when we go in the studio, when we hit the lab, we always have this vision and idea to just express ourselves. And one day we'll create 2 songs, another day we'll just do one, another day we'll do three. And then at the end of, let's say, a space of time, we'll say, right, I think we have an album in place. And then when we feel that, we might add a couple songs left or right, like just to complete the
Sure.
puzzle. So this specific album, there's songs that I recorded 3 years ago on there, and there's songs that I recorded a couple weeks ago. Um, the little surprise and hint that I've got for everyone is the outro, See Us, the last song. It has an extra verse that's not on this specific album. So we're saving that for a freestyle platform, but then we'll include it on the deluxe version of Peak Season that's going to come next year with a couple more new tracks. Because I feel all the tracks I'm recording from now until the end of the year, which is within the peak season era, should go into the deluxe version. So there will be a deluxe release of the project later on in 2026, like around March, April times. And I feel that we're very, like we do the promo old school, we also giving a lot of attention to give our album time for people to digest it, because it's not fair to work on something for 3 years but then promote it for 2 months.
Sure.
It just doesn't make sense. So we'll be quite old school with it. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the whole project. My Best was a challenging song, man. It was a challenging song for me.
And I'm going to ask you as well, Ames. I mean, how difficult is it to find that sound that you're looking for? I mean, are you still looking? Is it still a work in progress, or is it like when you hear it, it's you finally have you finally found it, or is it still like an ongoing process? If you get what I mean, sorry.
I would love to be a forever work in progress because that means I'm learning all the time. I mean, as a writer and a producer, I'm gonna probably do this my whole life. So, God willing, I'll write for some of the greatest talents that the world has yet to see or hear. Um, but in terms of difficulty, I think that it's just what made sense. I feel like when you listen to rap and hip hop, if you try and just emulate it, it's never going to be the same if you're not from where hip hop is made, which is America.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have grime, we have UK garage, which is great, but that there was no space in UK garage and grime from our Mediterranean culture.
Yeah,
So the reason why Global Street came about is as a mixed race kid from, mixed parents, between Cyprus and England and Italy and Lebanon, there's all these cultures that are floating around me as inspiration. So
yeah,
I looked at Global Street and I thought, yeah, it's time for this sound. Now, whether it's going to become an actual genre or whether it's just going to be the sound of Ames, it all depends. You can't have a genre if I'm the only person creating it.
sure.
So that's where more artists need to come into play. If it doesn't become a genre, it will forever just be the sound of Ames. But Global Street represents, I would say, a voice of the outcasts because there's a lot of amazing talent outside of the music capitals of the world. I've seen it with my own eyes, I've heard it. So the music industry mostly revolves around London, New York, LA, you know what I mean, Germany, France,
Yeah, yeah,
certain
sure, yeah,
certain music capitals, but there's talent everywhere. And usually they go there to get their deals, to get signed. But with technology, with what you mentioned that happened in COVID, with TikTok, with this, there's voices everywhere. You could be living on an island that has 1,000 residences and a thousand, people living there, and you might have the greatest voice that the world has yet to hear.
yeah,
So Global Street is more like closing the barrier, like making the borders a bit smaller, opening the borders up actually, and just letting the world be what it is, where anyone from anywhere can have a voice and a shout. With hip hop, it was about breakdancing, graffiti, beatboxing, DJing, and MCing. Now, since then, you've got sneaker collectors, trade card collectors,
yeah,
people that stack collectibles, influencers, podcast people, people that talk about motivation, people that talk about business, self-discovery. So there's so much more now than when hip hop used to be around. That the same way hip hop took in the graffiti, the same way hip hop took in the breakdancing, Global Street's taking in all the sneaker collectors, the influencers, the 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 people of talent and in general the people of art from around the world that don't have to live in LA,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean, mate. Yeah, and I've got to ask as well. I mean, for you, and congratulations on your new album, by the way. I
Brother.
want to say, will there be an upcoming tour coming soon, possibly in
Oh,
Sheffield?
I don't know if I'm going to be back in Sheffield again. It depends. I mean, we had a blast there last time, but for sure we're going to release our Wave Fest dates, which is my 10-week festival that I do in Ayia Napa, Cyprus. It's one of a kind festival, multi-sensory event. So around October times, we're looking to definitely announce the 2026 dates for that. Um, and in terms of where we're going to go and where we're going to take it next, on November 7th, we will know if Light and Love has been nominated for a Grammy. So at the moment, the way the process works, I'm not an expert. I've never been nominated for a Grammy, or no one's been nominated from Tooting or Cyprus or even from the rap scene of the UK. Very few people have had that. But working with Julia Marley and Ante, they're now telling me that the song is being considered for a Grammy nomination. So
Wow.
apparently, we'll be voting throughout October, the Grammy members. And then in November, on November 7th, we'll find out if we're nominated, which will be a very historical and iconic landmark for our whole scene, not just for me. And then once we know that, that means we'll probably be in LA for a month next year. I'm probably want to I'm gonna want to do a pop-up show there if we go 100%. Um, and there's a couple secret pop-up shows that we're planning, but 100% Iron Napa Summer 2026, the 10 Wave Fests are happening for sure. And hopefully we'll see you at one of them, man.
I would love to attend, and I want to wish you the very best of luck on your Grammy Award as well. Hopefully,
So
fingers
smart. But
crossed.
listen, we'll be back on. We'll talk about it. If all goes well, we're gonna smash it. But listen, let's connect. You can find Ames on at Who Is Ames on all social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. It's Ames High to the World. I'm on Sheffield Live with my boy Chris Zanelli. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Splash Gang, let's flood it. See you soon, my brother. Stay tuned. Enjoy the album. Peak season out now.
Thanks, Ames. Have a
Blessings.
great day, and best of luck with your new album.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Take
Take
care.
care.